Thank you so much,
So
Amy and Zen, for joining us on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you
thank
so
you
much
so
for
much for
having
having
me.
us.
So I'm just so curious. I love when I hear about like creative couples who are in their 20s, who are, dynamic.
Mhm.
They're not the usual. I would love to know how you guys started working together as a couple and how long have you guys been working together?
We started working together before we were a couple. We started working together when we were friends. We had a couple of business ventures that we tried to get off the ground. And we started to realize that we were doing so well working together. Even when we ended up becoming a couple, we just kept that dynamic going.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think working together was sort of like a part of getting to know each other more and getting to know the ambitions that we both had that like not everyone around us had. So it's definitely like brought us closer to the point of like becoming best friends and then the point of like dating. And I think it's like a core part of who we are, like how ambitious we are, how much we love our work, and how much we enjoy it as well.
As creative, we know that we have creative differences, and it's nice when you go to work and you have a creative difference with someone and you can go back home and vent to your partner, like, can you imagine what she did? But when the person you have a creative
Mhm.
difference with is the same person that you live with, how are you able to
Mhm.
overcome certain challenges associated with that?
Well, one of the most important things is communicating prior to starting a project.
Yes.
So I have certain boundaries that I have when it comes to my work. She has certain boundaries that she has when it comes to her work. She, I don't like being interrupted when I'm in my creative zone or, having somebody sort of uh, overly adjust. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's the right way.
Micromanaging.
Yeah, micromanaging,
Yeah.
exactly. And he really enjoys the producing part of it. So it's a matter of having a conversation prior to going into a project, setting clear boundaries. This is, my area, this is your area. Let's not overlap unless we ask each other for help. So it's a matter of very clear communication. Initially, obviously, it wasn't very easy. There were a few like speed bumps where we would sort of encroach into each other's territory a little bit and tensions would rise a little bit. But then the good thing about working with your partner is you always know that the person you're talking to is not in this to harm you, is not in this to hurt you. They want what is best for you. So if it was just some stranger, I know tensions would have risen and just gone all the way through the roof. But the fact that I had known her for so long, the fact that I love her, made it easier for me to sit down, no matter how angry I got or how annoyed I got, and just go, no, 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 she's not trying to harm you. She's not trying to destroy this project. She's not trying to outshine you. This is a person who really has your best intentions at heart.
And there's no issue in the world that communication cannot fix.
Mm.
That's I think that's a
Yes,
lesson we've learned
I
for
love
working together
communication.
and for being in a couple.
And I know that before we started talking on the show, you had mentioned that you guys are engaged to be married. And again, it
Yes.
Mhm.
makes me very curious. It makes me very curious. Congratulations, congratulations, yay! Congratulations on that. But I am curious about one thing though. I when I talk to some couples that are just dating or just recently engaged, there's a dynamic that they go with, and then when they get married, there seems to be this narrative that now I'm a husband and now I'm a wife. These are the identities and these are the roles and responsibilities that are associated with these identities. And now I want to ask you, like, moving into this relationship and trying to get married and maybe even have kids, if that's something you're open to, are you scared that marriage and maybe parenthood would change the dynamic that you have at the moment? Have you guys ever talked about that, and how do you want to deal with that when that moment in life does come?
Well, in the 3 years that we've been dating, we've been living together. So we have a very clear idea of what it's like, being in a marriage setup, basically. So I don't think anything would change. I don't think anything should change. I think a lot of people shortchange themselves by getting into a relationship under false pretenses and then suddenly wanting things to transform once they put a ring on their finger. That doesn't make sense to me. Personally, I believe that the whole point of dating is sort of, for lack of a better word, like a trial period during which you see how well you'd work together in marriage. So things should not change when you then jump into marriage. I don't suddenly go into husband mode. I am in husband mode.
Yeah.
I'm giving her a preview of what it would be like to spend her life with me as a husband. She's giving me a preview of what it would be like to spend her life with my life with her as my wife. So whether we get married or whatever comes, the dynamic wouldn't change. And when it comes to kids, I know a lot of men would want to then step back and let their wife sort of take up the parental role in a more emphasized way. But then for me, having lost my father when I was 5 years old, I really want to be an active father. So I think there will be no change when it comes to those roles. I'm going to be very active. I want to be involved in my child's life. So no matter what comes, whether it's marriage, whether it's children, whatever is coming in the future, we're going to face it together. That's sort
Lovely.
of like our point of emphasis.
It's not always 50-50. Sometimes it's 80-20, it's 60-40, depending on the day. So you should have the room to come to your partner and say, you know what, today I'm at a 20. Like that's it. And sometimes they're gonna say, I'm at a 22. And now you can meet each other with kindness. Now you can say, okay, so what do we need to do? Maybe we need to take it easy. Like there's certain responsibilities that you have in the household in terms of like maybe like cleaning and cooking. Sometimes it's saying we both can't cook. Like we're just gonna go and order out. We both can't
Yeah.
face XYZ. Or if your partner is going through like a really hard time, it's just being able to take up that role and show them kindness and show yourself kindness and always like show love. I think
Yeah.
that has always helped us because we've been able to show up for each other in different circumstances. And of course, like personal life spills into work and work spills into personal life. But understanding like today was a bad day, something might happen while we're shooting that triggers him but doesn't trigger me, or triggers me but doesn't trigger him, or like things like that. So show up with kindness, understand each other, communicate, and know that it's not always 50-50, but it's 50-50 in how you both show up. And everything is great as long as you're always trying, just trying your hardest and having good intentions.